For the 12th time in school history, for the sixth time under this guy, Chris Garcia-Prats, and for the first time since 2022, the Luther men's soccer team is off to the NCAA tournament. They'll be heading to Northfield, Minnesota this weekend to take on Lake Forest. Head coach Chris Garcia-Prats joining us. And what has made this a successful group, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that always have to kind of play into, being successful, in a season like this. But our seniors have been outstanding, Aaron. I think anytime you kind of put together championship runs or national tournament runs, the leadership of the group has to be really, really strong. And our group of seniors have been amazing. I mean, this kind of stuff, these kind of journeys, don't start in August, right? They started last December. And this group kind of was pretty clear about what they wanted to try and achieve. And yeah, and I think for any group of young people to kind of put some goals in place and then to be able to kind of achieve those, I think is super, super cool. I feel like our focus was right throughout the season, kept kind of getting better. And it's a really new group. It's like a group that graduated from a conference championship team. There's a lot of new names in the mix, and seeing so many guys kind of step out has been really, really cool.
Take us through these last three games. Regular season finale against Wartburg. You score in the 88th minute to win that game, ultimately get the conference championship and the number one seed. Central in the semifinals, double overtime. You get the game winner late in that one, and then you score early against Wartburg and you make it stick in the conference championship game. Take us through this three-game run. Obviously exciting for the fans, maybe heart wrenching for the fans a little bit, but the results went your way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely gained some fans through some entertainment, right? Value. I think a lot of they were just like really, really exciting games, to be honest. I mean, 1-0 games are pretty cool, for especially the soccer fans. So I mean, the group up until kind of that Wartburg game had played really well, but we probably were missing kind of a big result there. And like we'd done well at a lot of places, but actually had some disappointing results as well. I think we like went through a stretch of like 5 ties. I mean, obviously tying 7 games in the season is yeah, it's not amazing. You want to win those games, but obviously we found ways, like at Dubuque early on in the conference season, we scored late to kind of make it 1-1. And I remember that being a kind of a disappointing kind of result for the guys in the sense of, wanting to kind of start the league really well, but actually that point ended up being helpful to win the conference championship and set ourselves in place, against Wartburg on that final day. So, yeah, I mean, I think we told the guys going into kind of that Wartburg kind of playoff game. It wasn't a playoff game, but it kind of was a final, right? Like we had to win the game to get a trophy. And so I think our mindset was really, really strong, to be honest. And it was like a really gratifying result just because, I mean, obviously to win a title obviously is super big. But for this group in particular, like we're needing a marquee result, right? They hadn't to go 15 games and not have a marquee result is kind of, yeah, kind of a little tough, right? And so there was a lot of emotion on that day. Yeah, our approach was really good, right? We just kind of tried to focus on who we are. We know what we're trying to do in 2025. And really kind of kept that similar approach. I think the playoff game or the final game against Warburg, I think helped set the stage for the playoffs as well, right? So it wasn't a playoff, but it was, right? And so it kind of helped us, yeah, kind of get ourselves ready for Central. Central kind of threw some things at us to make things difficult for us, and obviously did. I mean, sent us all the way to overtime and really pushed us. And probably again a little fortunate on that goal in particular, but I do think we were like the team that was aggressive and trying to kind of get that goal. And we kind of got probably a little bit of luck. And then the Wartburg, final was, I think we did super well. We hadn't actually closed out a lot of 1-0 games, to be honest, Darren, right? We'd 1-0 up to St. Olaf, 1-0 up, and some other against Simpson. So like we didn't close those games out super well. And so to see our guys kind of stick to the plan and find a way to get that clean sheet was really, really awesome for the group. And obviously to do that at home in the last American Rivers Conference game, for us as a program is really, really cool.
You mentioned clean sheets. You had eight of them this year. Only twice you gave up two goals. One time you gave up more than the two goals. What has made the combination of your back line and your keepers rise to a high occasion pretty much throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a new group. I mean, I think the whole group, right? I'm thinking Paolo is a first year. Elliott played a little bit last year. Will Elias is a junior, and they both kind of, him and Elliott played limited minutes. Aitor was our backup, behind an all conference keeper. So, like, just super new. And I think they've just kind of grown in experience. And, I think anytime you lose a full back line, that's not ideal. One of our seniors got injured early on, and so that kind of, again, we lost some experience right away, and so they just, I think, kind of some growing pains, through that. Again, conceding four, in one game, there were some errors that we made in that game, and I think they've just kind of grown in that experience, and I think have good confidence. But it's also a team, a team effort. I think the guys defend well as a group, and that really helps. Obviously the back line do well, but like the guys in front of them, Joseph and Zane and Nels, our central midfield do super well, but also our front guys, our striker nine, Enzo, our captain, defends super well from the front area. So those again are super, super helpful.
And the confidence issue that you just touched on, getting those marquee results late in the season, that win over Wartburg, the overtime win over Central, and then the championship win over Wartburg. How has your team's confidence increased as the season has gone by?
I mean, I think again, like we were doing well, right? But again, when you don't get that key result, you kind of, there's always like a little doubt, right? We tie late against Simpson, we tie late, in some of these other games. And so you just have some doubt, and winning sometimes just doesn't allow that to creep in as much. So I think the confidence of the group is really good. Again, we as a program and staff try and kind of make sure that we're focused on the right things. Yeah, making sure that we're focused on our values as a program, focused on the process. Again, these are things you probably hear a lot in the sports world, and it's just true, right? And so I think our guys did a really good job of kind of working through some of those. And yeah, again, I think they had an opportunity to win a title on the last day, and they took it. And then they had two opportunities to get to the national tournament, and they took it, right? So like those are super, super awesome things for our young men to do. And then, again, those opportunities presented themselves, and we were obviously in a circumstance to have those, and our guys did a really good job of taking advantage of that.
You go up to Northville, Minnesota this weekend. This is a setting you're familiar with as you regularly play St. Olaf. Going to a setting that you're familiar with, does that help at all, or does that just give media dopes like me right to ask you a question in a setting like this?
There's something to it, Darren. Our guys are human and just like you, right? And so I think familiarity to things and taking away some anxiety around it. There's going to be enough anxiety and pressure to play the game, and obviously it's a pressure game. So yeah, I don't know if it gives us advantage, but there's some things that are a little different. We'll know the space. We've trained, we've played at the space. We've been there a little bit, so we kind of understand it a little bit. It just takes some unknowns out of it. Again, I don't think it's necessarily advantage, but I think anytime as a head coach and you don't have as many things to kind of jump through to figure it out, I think that's helpful. Our staff in particular, kind of is pretty familiar with the national tournament, even though we haven't been here for a couple of years. I think we have good experience in kind of how we want to approach that. And yeah, again, the familiar of the space I think is helpful. So you're not a crazy person, with with that question. There's a lot of like that familiarity is helpful.
Well, I could be crazy, but maybe not for that reason. But I digress on that end of things. But your opponent's going to be Lake Forest. Kind of an interesting story because next year they're going to be a conference opponent for you. What do you know about Lake Forest? What impresses you about them and your study of them?
Yeah, so I know Dan. Dan's the head coach there. Him and I sat on a ranking committee for a number of years. So Dan and I know each other quite well, actually. Don't have a lot of history of playing. I think we played back maybe. I think the last time was maybe 20. I think we played maybe 22. And so we played at a tournament up at St. Norbert's, and I think played each other there, and then played each other, back in the day, with my little brother here in the national tournament. So, there's not a lot of like history between the two teams. I think, yeah, I think super, again, when we saw the draw, like just super cool to see, two future Midwest Conference teams, playing each other. People on campus have said some things. President Chamberlain, kind of made a comment about it the other day in our selection show. So I think, yeah, I mean, they've won 19 of 20 games, Darren. So you can, I mean, I think we've won a lot, we've only won nine, right? So 10 different there in terms of wins. So you can see they obviously know how to win. They've won some big games this year, can score some goals. I mean, I think again, they're statistically, right, they don't give up a lot and score a lot, right? So that's a pretty good marquee of how to win a lot of games. So yeah, our staff is preparing, to manage a really, really strong team, top 20 in the MPI. So I think, yeah, we're embracing obviously the future Midwest Conference champion, Midwest Conference thing, and also a respectful opponent. And we've got our hands full on Saturday.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the American Rivers Conference regular season championship, tournament championship, and a trip to the NCAA tournament. And here's hoping you're staying Northfield. You don't come down Highway 52 until Sunday afternoon. We wish you best of luck this weekend. I know you guys will be ready to go.
Thanks, Darren.
Chris Garcia-Prats, head coach of the Luther College men. They're back in the NCAA tournament. They take on Lake Forest on Saturday afternoon in Northfield, Minnesota.